What's up, guys? I've got a new class beginning to use CodeWars, and we're going to start them with rock, paper, scissors. This asks for a function that takes two moves, two choices between rock, paper, and scissors, and it returns who wins. So if we get scissors and paper, we say player 1 won, because scissors beats paper, and player 1 is our name for the guy on the left. Or if we get scissors and rock, we say player 2 won, because rock beats scissors, and player 2 is our name for the guy on the right. And if we got paper, paper, we'd say draw. Now there are more possibilities. There's rock, rock, and scissors, rock, and whatever. But those are the examples. Those are enough to get us going. And then if you needed a reminder, here's an image of all the combos. Now I'm going to start by hitting train, or mine says train again because I did this during class today, and it'll take me to a screen that looks like this. We still have the instructions over here. We have tests at the bottom. This is what they're going to look for. And then we have our area to write code. So you might want to start with if statements. That's the classic. That's what everybody thinks of. And you could say, like, okay, if P1 is rock and P2 is whatever, then we have an outcome. The problem with that is it's going to be super long, right? I had it ready to go because I wanted to show the bad version. I wanted to show like the long, ugly way, but I didn't want to make you watch me type it, so here we go. This is 19 lines because we have 9 possibilities, 2 each, plus the function signature, and that's probably going to work, but come on, we can do better. Let's see. Oh, it almost worked, but I have this mistake where I put wins in the present tense and not won, which is what they were looking for. Am I going to go and change here and here and here and here and here and here? I hope not, because that's a lot of work, that's a lot of changing, and it's also a lot of chances for something to go wrong. So these are the drawbacks of a big solution like this. You have a lot of typing, it doesn't fit on the screen, but most of all, it's hard to change. And programs always change, so you want them to be easy to work with. If I go and change this and this and this and this and this, but I forget that one, we might have issues. I'd rather make it so that that message appears once, and if I need to change it, I just change that one. Other possibilities are we ever checking for the same thing multiple ways? We can just do that once. Like, for example, I think the most bang for your buck, the most obvious way to shorten this is with the draws. We're checking rock, rock, paper, paper, and scissors, scissors, and it's really the same thing every time. Let me show you that we can cut these, and we can cut some here to just say, if P1 equals P2, that's a draw. I'm going to hit test, and the draw was the one we were getting before, and we're still getting it, which means we're still okay. This is actually better because imagine a new rule where it's not just rock, paper, scissors, it's rock, paper, scissors, and a fourth thing. Well, our old version wouldn't have caught that, but this one does because we're not checking for rock, paper, and scissors specifically. We're just checking for any old things that are equal to each other. So what else can we do to shorten this? I'm sure there's a pattern in here, right? Well, if you are describing this in English to a human, you'll probably say paper beats rock, scissors beats paper. You'd use the word beats with the moves, the shapes, the choices, and they're not attached to any particular player. So if we describe what rock beats and what paper beats, then we can cut this in half because we can just do it 1, 2, and 2, 1 instead of actually doing them all like we are. And there are a couple ways to do that, but what I'm going to use is what we've been studying in class, functions. We can make another function to help this one. And so I'm going to use the word that we've used, the word that they use in the image as well, which is beats. We say what beats what. Okay, so it's got two things. And I'm just going to call them A and B. I know that's vague, but they could be anything. You just have to make sure we're not calling them 1 and 2, because it might be 2 and 1. It might be the other way around, and you don't want to get confused. So let's take a chunk of this, drag it up there, and then we'll use that once, so we'll never have to do any of this stuff again. Okay. So what do we need to do? Well, we need one that has scissors first. And I think that's good, actually. Instead of returning a message, we're just going to say true or false, like whether or not you win. And then I guess we have to change these names. We'll learn about a nicer way later to handle this, but as of now, typing a single A or B is not the worst thing in the world. So let's see here. I'm going to make this a single line with no indent because it's so short. Sometimes indenting looks weird with tiny lines. And then we can use our new function. We could say if beats P1 and P2, then we return player 1 with the past tense. But even if I forgot that, it would be easy to change because I just changed it right here, and that's the only place it shows up. And then I can say if beats the other way around, we return the other guy. So this is the efficiency we're gaining by, instead of checking every combo, we check some of them, and then we check the reverse right there. So now I think this might be actually the first time we pass the tests. Hey, we did. That's great. But I want to go one step further, which is to show that whenever you do a comparison, like equals or less than or greater than, you get a Boolean. You get a true or false. So often, whenever people say true right after it, you can cut that because it's already true or false. So let me show you what I mean. We can cut this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. We just need to say, hey, if it's this, or this, or this. So if it's like this combo, or this combo, or this combo. And in order to grab a big chunk like this that covers multiple lines, you can just put it in parentheses. I know that's kind of silly, but it works. Let me show you. Hey, I kind of like that. And if I hit attempt, it'll test more test and make it official. And once you hit attempt, then it can take you to the next screen, which is actually the best part of CodeWars. The best part of CodeWars is when you get to see what other people have done. Not just in the class, but anywhere in the world. It might be years ago, it might be 5 minutes ago. You get to see a variety of approaches. Sometimes people thought of things that you didn't. So let's see this first one here. It's actually really similar to ours. They define what beats what, and then they use it. But there are a few differences. One, they don't even check equals. Like to see the draw, you don't even need to check the equals. It's just whatever's left. And then instead of using a function, they use a data type called dictionary. Python dictionaries are super useful. We haven't seen them in our course yet, but we will soon. It's basically just a way to say this points to this points to this, and this points to this, like a table where you look something up on the left and find what it corresponds to on the right. This one is very clever. I don't really think it's nice. I don't think it's pretty. But they assign a number to each move, and then they use that number to kind of look up the result. And this is not very easy to change. Like if they said we have rock, paper, scissors, and a fourth thing, then, oh my gosh, it would be a brain teaser. But it's cute, and I like the idea that they can squish it into a small function. This one is actually exactly the same as ours, except they put all that in one big old line instead of outsourcing it to a function, but this is actually doing exactly the same thing we did. This is a mild version of the list everything, but at least they cut out the draws. Okay, pretty similar. And if you keep scrolling, you'll see some surprises every once in a while, like, oh, this is nice, where instead of doing the message of player 1-1 or player 2-1, they have this format slot, and then they plug in the 1 or 2 depending on the result of an expression. That's kind of cute. I don't mind it. This is listing every possibility, but it's doing it with data instead of code. I don't mind that. And if you kept scrolling, you would see a lot of interesting surprises, like, let's see, this one did it in one line. That's kind of cute. And there's someone else later who did a cycle, like rock to paper to scissors back to rock, and that really gave me some interesting ideas. In fact, I, just while I was sitting here today, did this problem in a bunch of ways. Here's one that's like what I showed you. Here's one that takes the first character of each and then looks them up in this little cycle. I thought that was really cute when I saw someone else do it. And then that gave me the idea to do it in another way. There's a thing in Python called match case, where you can match different patterns. Is this the right way? No, I just thought it was fun and I wanted to mess around. So the best part about CodeWars is once you get a solution, you can see what other people have done, and they might impress you, they might disgust you if you look at one and go, ooh, I don't know. But you're going to get input. You're going to get stuff in your head that will form your knowledge and your taste about the future. Like this one's kind of nice. They gave a name to every outcome, even though these outcomes are exactly the same as the ones we typed. They gave a name to like the result of each, and then you can check each one. Is it better? Not really, but it's interesting to think about, and that's what we're here for.